Quiet quitting is perhaps the best thing Gen Z has ever done, showing these greedy, corrupt corporations that they can't keep exploiting us. But if you thought this was good, Gen Z and China have gone Super Saiyan mode, taking quiet quitting to the absolute next level, and even the all-powerful Chinese Communist Party is shook.
Unemployment in cities rose to almost 20% in July 2022, the highest since the Chinese government started publishing the figures in 2018. As a result, the country's economy has slowed down and is struggling to boost growth.
China and the West could not be more different. They are on complete opposite sides of the world geographically. One is a free democracy, while the other is an authoritarian communist regime. The cultures and mentalities of the people are quite different as well. Yet despite all these differences, the youth in China have woken up and unplugged from the matrix, much like in the West. They're refusing to work, refusing to date, refusing to play the rigged game that the system imposes on us. What's more impressive is that they're doing all of this in an authoritarian communist regime that's infamous for censoring speech and crushing dissent. This is the power of peacefully quitting the system. In China, you can't march on the streets and protest. You can't even openly criticize the government. And yet, even in one of the most oppressive authoritarian regimes in the world, the youth have brought the government to their knees by simply going their own way.
希望大家牢记党的教诲，立志民族复兴，不负韶华，不负时代，不负人民。在青春的赛道上奋力奔跑，争取跑出你们这一代人的最好成。
Reminding even the all-powerful CCP that society exists to serve the individual, not the other way around. To fully understand the magnitude of just how bad this is, let's tell the story of the life of a typical Chinese child. This is Sean, a little baby who was just born to two middle-class Chinese parents in the city. Sean is their one and only child due to the one-child policy, and as a result has insane expectations to succeed and carry on the family legacy. From ages 0 to 4, Sean is just an innocent toddler enjoying life. This will sadly be the only time he'll ever be able to enjoy life, as when he turns 5 and starts school, the pressure will be on. Sean turns 5 and starts school, and this will be the first day of the rest of his life. From kindergarten to high school, he will be under immense academic pressure from his parents to get perfect grades and go to a top-level college. He will be studying for 12 hours a day with no free time or enjoyment in life. Every minute of his life will be dedicated to the carefully scripted life his parents planned for him. Go to college and continue studying 12 hours a day there. Find a job and work 12 hours a day there. Get married and buy a house. Have your own kids and hate this toxic process. Forget having any personal happiness, satisfaction, or fulfillment in life. Sacrifice everything just to push the system forward. When you combine generations of this societal brainwashing along with the oppressive censorship of the CCP, they largely got most people to mindlessly buy into the system. That is, until now. Because the youth in China just said F that.
Basically say no to the system. I will not cooperate. Then I have my own antisocial behavior. Bailan is even worse than Tanping. So that's the reason why Chinese leadership really worry about this trend.
Bai Lan is a phrase that translates to let it rot in English. It was a phrase that first went viral on the Chinese social media app Weibo. The CCP tried to remove and censor it as you'd expect, but it was too late. The cat was out of the bag. It essentially means giving up and giving a massive FU to the system. The Chinese youth are finally waking up and rejecting the many generations of brainwashing from their elders and the CCP. From going back home, to live with their parents, to living on the streets for $13 a week, to quitting their high-end jobs in pursuit of spirituality and philosophy. Young people around the world have woken up, and the CCP is absolutely terrified. This is China's quiet quitting. The unique thing about this type of rebellion is that there is nothing the powerful elites can do to control it. For decades, protesting wasn't something that even crossed the minds of the average Chinese person, as the horrors and fears of the Tiananmen Square massacre are still deeply embedded in the minds of many. The government can easily suppress and extinguish outward displays of aggression and control the narrative to make it seem like you were the radical ones. But there's not really much they can do about quiet, peaceful rebellions. When everyone just quietly gives up, quits working, quits supporting your corrupt system, even the most oppressive communist governments are helpless. What we can learn in the West. In my last video, I talked about the quiet, peaceful rebellion that I see young Gen Z Chads in the West putting up right now. We're starting to gradually see the consequences of this as society, and the mainstream media is slowly being forced to address men's issues. The epic youth rebellion in China should be a great inspiration for all of us to continue our own silent rebellion against this society that has used, abused, and exploited us for too long. If they've managed to make their voices heard and make such a big impact against one of the most oppressive, censorship-driven communist governments in the world, we absolutely can do the same thing in the West, where we actually have freedom of speech and freedom of expression. Young people around the world are waking up and unplugging from the matrix. This is really an incredible sight to behold, and if we keep this up, we might finally see real change at some point.